when you're thinking about food and eating for your prostate, you always want to think in terms of what can decrease inflammation, what can help beat the free radicals, and what can help clear up any hormonal changes that are happening that need to be straightened out, and what can help clear stuff from the body, clear toxins from the body. So at the top of the list for eating for your prostate is broccoli, right? So some of you are like, gosh, broccoli. So when you think of broccoli, and I want women to think of broccoli in a similar sense, I want you to think broccoli and cruciferous vegetables like the bok choy and the cabbage. They have something in them called DIM. DIM, D-I-M, stands for diindolylmethane, right? And methane, of course, is what it sounds like, gas, right? So this is the thing that kind of gives you gas. And it's got sulforaphanes in it, which is why it kind of smells like a fart or gas when you cook it. But what DIM actually is, and particularly in gentlemen, is it's considered, we can call it an anti-estrogen, because what it does is it helps harmful forms of estrogen that can collect in the body that could potentially cause an increase in the size of the prostate. It can potentially help decrease these estrogens and help remove them from the body so that they don't have an impact on prostate size, right? So that's one thing. Increasing cruciferous vegetables, increasing broccoli, increasing cabbage. So with that being said, I also want women to know that when you're eating the cruciferous vegetables all day, every day, you're actually eating something that's potentially anti-estrogen. And so deciding whether it's helping remove good estrogen or the byproduct of estrogen is something different. But DIM is great, and broccoli is chock full of DIM. You just want to steam the broccoli lightly. You don't want any of that mushy broccoli that our parents used to give us and make us eat, right? I don't know about you, but when I was a kid, all our vegetables were mushy. Now they should be crisp, right? The other thing that I think that we've talked about before is flaxseed. Now, we've talked about flaxseed because flaxseed is controversial. There's been some studies to indicate that flax seeds could decrease testosterone in some people. But what flaxseed has been shown in the lab to do is it's been shown to decrease the epithelial cell activity in rats with BPH. So basically, when you have in a large prostate, you have the cells that are encapsulating the prostate. What they've seen in the animal model is that flax seeds have actually been shown to decrease that cell proliferation or multiplication of the cells is a good word for it, or even swelling of the size of the cells. And there's actually some pretty good data on human studies to indicate that flax seeds might be helpful with prostate too. Now, the other thing is, now we're talking about the importance of making sure that your body can tolerate all that protein that everyone's telling you to get. But studies really indicate that on a ketogenic diet that is more high fat with moderate levels of protein and lower levels of carbohydrates, that they saw, and that they are hypothesizing that the reason that this can help with prostate symptoms is because it is thought that it's blocking the impact that high levels of testosterone might actually have on the prostate, right? So for instance, when you're working with your doctor and your doctor's giving you testosterone, whether it's through an injection or through gel or through cream, we're monitoring your testosterone levels, but we're also periodically checking your PSA, because there's been data for years that suggests that giving testosterone to certain individuals may in fact cause their prostate to swell. But what the study seems to indicate is that when flax seeds, the ketogenic diet is involved, it kind of blocks the impact that testosterone might have on swelling, causing the prostate to grow in size. Now, the biggest one that I think that you would potentially switch out and add into your daily regimen is actually green tea. Now, I know some of you are like, oh, green tea is not that good. Or you think that if you walk into the store and you see that big old bottle of green tea and it's got lemon in it, it's already got the sugar in it and all of that. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about freshly brewed green tea that's got high levels of EPGC. Now, when you go and Google EPGC, now EPGC is just short for epigallocatechin gallate, right? So if you go and Google that, what you'll see is that the companies actually sell extract of it, scoops of it that you can actually add to your smoothies, that you can actually add, you can take the capsules. But the interesting thing about the EPGC and green tea that's really high in that, this is very controversial, of course, is that they're actually even studying it on prostate cancer, right? So when we're talking about green tea extract, you'll read a lot of articles that'll say it's a farce. There's no real data to show that green tea extract is making any difference. But of course, I want to share with you, some published data, which is so spot on about how we're actually seeing some major things when it comes to green tea extract and prostate. Not just the prostate, but the PSA count, things with prostate cancer. I mean, I hate to even say that word because it gets you flagged and nobody really wants to talk about it, but I mean, let's talk about it. So this is a great article. The effects of green tea catechins on prostate cancer, chemo prevention, and the gut microbiome. So let's kind of go down to this area down here where they actually are going to show us how they think this is happening. So I think that the green tea catechins are going and working on NF-kappa beta, NF-kB, and what they think is happening with the cells is that they're stopping the cells from growing and that they're helping the cells reprogram themselves so that they're doing something called apoptosis, or actually dying. And the thought is that then is going and inhibiting prostate cell cancer progression, right? So this great article really kind of goes through and it pulls together a bunch of different articles that have been studying EPGC on prostate cancer. And when we really start to look at it, like I want to show you this chart here, which is really nicely organized. So when you're looking at here and it says target population, this is basically an abbreviation as to who they were actually studying, right? Let me shrink it down a little for you. And the PCA stands for prostate cancer patients. And look here. So in this study alone, they took and gave 6 cups of green tea, black tea or water, to a person over the course of 3 to 8 weeks, right? Then this next one, they gave 800 milligrams of EGCG extract over the course of 3 to 6 weeks. But look over here, significant reduction in serum levels of PSA and symptoms in men who have prostate cancer, and brief treatment with EGCG with no elevation in liver enzymes, which basically means the liver stayed healthy the whole time, right? And then they went ahead and did it in patients who had prostatectomy. And, these are really favorable results. So, in my thoughts with this has always been, so if you are in a space where you're worried about prostate cancer or your prostate is enlarged a little bit, why wouldn't you start integrating green tea into your regimen? When that C word was running rampant, that's why everybody's protocol had green tea associated with it. It is such a major anti-inflammatory and antioxidant. It's anti-BPH. It's got the anti-CA-NCER piece there. So green tea, integrating green tea into your regimen would be fantastic. Now, but you got to make sure it's real green tea. It's not just the kind that's in the at the gas station that's loaded up with sugar and it tastes really good. I mean, green tea is an acquired taste. Or you could even consider getting the extract. So I believe very strongly in the power of green tea. And of course, you're kind of thinking, well, I mean, if you're going to be drinking so much damn tea, you're going to have to pee more. So isn't that associated with prostate issues? Well, if you looked at those studies, they were actually following PSA levels. They were looking at symptoms, but most of it was more about the PSA levels and the size of the tumors and everything. So out of all the food items and the things that you can consume on a daily basis that are going to have the biggest impact on your prostate, EPGC or the extract from green tea is where it's at. It's definitely where it's at.